My love out experience was a damn near roller coaster. When I spoke to Clarke for the first time, that spark and connection we had was something that I never felt before.
Let me just say first and foremost, look, I'm sad for Taylor. I'm sad for Clarke. But I don't give a heck. Because like I said from the beginning of the season, you and Ace, Alandria, you will not see that 100K if it's for me. I'm going to tell you straight. Y'all were instigators. You, Huda, Alandria, Ace, Nick, if it's up to me, you will not see that 100K. If it's up to me, none of you will see the 100K. The way you did Jeremiah deadly, the way you guys did Jeremiah at the beginning of the season, Huda, Alandria, Nick, Ace, and Taylor, you will not see the 100K if it's for me. Listen, as much as I love what Taylor and Clarke have built, I want to let you know I've not forgiven you. I've not forgotten. I hold a grudge. I've not forgotten. Oh, you did my boy dirty like that? I've not forgotten, sir. That's how you did my boy in the beginning. I've not forgotten. So when I'm seeing Ace crying the way Ace is crying, I wanted to see more tears. Let it flow. I wanted it to flow. I wanted it to be a river, but I wasn't seeing it. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not mad that you're going home. Okay? All right? For a second, I forgot where I was. For a second, I forgot where I was. And then I remembered the way they did Jeremiah and they betrayed him like they're Judas to Jesus. I said, oh, no worries. No worries. Remind myself. I had to suck back them tears. I said, oh, no, suck that back in. Let's not waste any of that salt water. Come back to me. Because what we're not going to do is that. Now, if it's up to me, Nick, Alandria, Ace, Huda, none of you are going to see that 100K, baby. Okay? I'd rather see Iris and Pepe win that money. I'd rather see Amaya and Brian win that money. The rest of the black folk and the quartet, none of y'all going to see that cash. If it's up to me, none of you going to see that cash. None of you. Now, Shelly hasn't done me anything too dirty, so I'm cool with Shelly. But unfortunately, you're with Ace. So for me, none of you are going to see that money. Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore you. I'm just going to tell you that straight. Okay? All right. So that's what I want to get out of the way first and foremost. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I don't want to hear it. Okay? Now, as I've said to you guys from the very beginning of the season, I said to you that Huda has been a problem from the very beginning. Okay? Now, all of y'all getting vexed at Huda because she went against your black people, that's your business. Okay? For those of you who are angry at Huda because she went against the black quartet and went against your girls, I don't give a heck. That's not why I don't like her. I didn't like her because of the way she behaved with Jeremiah, and I didn't like the fact that she was abusive, and we called it and twisted it, and people are still twisting it to this day. All right? So that's why I didn't like Huda. It was abusive, and I called it out from the very beginning. I said that she should have been gone and she'd been out. Some people have only turned against Huda because they went against the black girls. I don't give a heck. You should have been gone. I already told you, you let the chickens come to roost is what you get. All right. And now Huda might even win the thing. And I said this already a couple of weeks ago, is black people fault them. Yeah. It's the black people, Alandria, Shelly, Shiliara, all of those people that were, Sarah's not black. But anyway, listen, it's all y'all fault. Because y'all were supporting Huda even when you shouldn't have. Ace, is your fault. If you see them losing, Ace, this is your fault too. Because you decided to back her instead of Jalen. Because you wanted to help out Taylor. When you knew Taylor didn't even find her attractive. Can you think about what you're saying here? No, think about the stupidity of what you just did. You kept in because you were scared for Taylor. Meanwhile, you kept in your arch nemesis. And your arch nemesis has done a beautiful 360 arc. And right now, she has got a wave of supporters. Like, I'm talking about a level of support you've never seen in your life. And not just support. These people are crazy. Like, they're tapped. Let me not even say too much in case they hear me from the corners of the earth or where they are. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, you mention Huda and they're like, huh? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, it reverberates in the air. Huda. That's what they hear. Like, you mention Huda, that's the stands are hearing. Huda. And all it is, there's a location for you. Now they're coming to where you are. You know what I'm saying to you? Gotta be very careful what you mention about Huda. Okay? Just scattering. Like a beacon. You know what I mean? So you gotta be careful out here. You know what I'm saying to you? So, real spit. But But yeah, no, for real, for real. We are in a situation where, listen, I wanted to see, I like Taylor and Clarke together. I did. I just haven't forgotten what he did to Jeremiah. But I really did like him and Clarke. I thought they had a really great connection. I mean, I wasn't always sure whether Clarke actually wanted him or not, but I like their energy, I like their vibe. And I think it was pretty cool. And probably the most genuine out of all the couples that were there, probably the most genuine. Okay. It was the most genuine I could see it being in that particular space. Now, we got to address some real things. Now, I told you about Chris and his passive aggressiveness. What did I tell you about Chris and his passive aggressiveness? I told you it will come to bite him in the ass because every time he doesn't correct Huda, she gets more strength. That girl is like Thanos. You understand what I'm saying to you? Collecting rings. Nani? Bruv, like, I mean, listen, the situation with her, Huda and Chris, it was brewing. It's been brewing for the last few days. It's like it's been happening for the last few days because he's been not telling the truth about how he feels. And it's like, you waited till now. Now, of course, it didn't turn up to a massive block, thank God. And I understood actually where both of them were coming from. I actually understood where he was coming from. He felt like she was hiding him, and she felt like she didn't want to make the same mistakes all over again. The question is whether you believe her and whether you believe that she's being manipulative or not. That's the truth, right? The truth is, do you believe her or do you believe she's being manipulative when she doesn't want to give you a kiss outside of villa? I mean, outside of the bedroom. Now, more than likely, I actually do believe Huda what she's saying. I don't think she's necessarily embarrassed by Chris. I don't think she's embarrassed by Chris. If I'm honest with you, I don't. Like if and again, I'm probably being a bit biased when it comes to attachment styles. Knowing that she's probably a fearful avoidant, she's trying to rewire the way she's doing things and does not realize in the process of doing that, she's actually causing more harm to the relationship. And the reason I'm saying that is because she's had sex but not able to kiss him. Same thing I said about Olandria. I said about her kissing people in challenges but can't kiss people outside of the challenge. That's an issue of your intimacy. That's actually an intimacy issue. Okay. Now, the reality of the situation is, unfortunately, the previous guy before him was Jeremiah, and she went that way and she was all open. Now she's trying to rewire herself. It's very difficult to. Now, maybe she has still liking for Jeremiah. Who knows? But in reality, it's very difficult for her to be able to navigate. But she needs to be more communicative about this issue. Chris needs to open it up and be able to have a conversation with her. Yeah. So I think now she's overthinking everything. But again, I believe it's an intimacy issue because, again, she's already been very open beforehand. You get what I'm saying to you? Now, remember I told you a story. I said I said to you last time that kissing is very intimate. I said for some people, listen, some of my ex-girlfriends, shout out to them. I didn't kiss them. I didn't like kissing them, not because they didn't like kissing, but because of intimacy issues. You don't realize that you are actually you can have sex, but you can't kiss. It's very intimate to kiss. I really didn't like kissing. I liked having sex, but that's an intimacy issue. You can give your body over, but you can't actually give that intimate aspect of your behavior. That's an intimacy issue. Okay? That's an intimacy issue. There ain't no way she's behaving for Jeremiah when she's having sex. Like that ain't gonna change. Okay? So that's why I said that if it really was about Jeremiah, then I would go, okay, then cool. But then why she's having sex already? And she's doing things in the dark. And the dark is going to be out because there are actually cameras in the bedroom. You haven't gone to a hideaway. So, you know what I mean? Why is it? And I think when you have intimacy issues, that's not me giving her a pass, by the way. It's me just explaining. Someone said, God bless them. Yeah, I did. I did have someone that's covered that because I had intimacy issues. Kissing wasn't a thing for me. I don't like kissing like that. You can give a kiss on a cheek, but full on kissing, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So it's a clear intimacy issue that's happening as well. Let's have a look at this.
Don't want to do anything that I was doing in that last couple with Chris. I'm trying to switch it and do something totally different.
And that's the issue. She's trying to do something different. She's trying to do something different here, and it's very difficult for her to do so because she hasn't practiced doing something different. So she's doing something completely extreme. She's going the complete opposite route. So she's like taking intimacy completely off the board and putting sex on the board. And it's like, that's confusing. And instead of actually sitting in the discomfort of the conversation, she doesn't realize. Okay. So actually doesn't actually realize. Now we can discuss whether she really likes Chris as much as she likes Jeremiah. That's, to me, that's irrelevant. And I'll tell you why it's irrelevant, because whether she likes him or not, this aspect of behavior happens a lot. You know what I mean? This behavior happens to a lot of people who are avoidant. When they don't realize they have intimacy issues and they're avoidant, this aspect actually happens a lot. You're able to do so much of the physical aspects. That's why we see Olandria kissing people in a challenge and not kissing people outside. How is it that Olandria is okay kissing people, tonguing them down, but when they're outside of a challenge, you can't kiss somebody? You know what I'm saying to you? Now, she may be using Chris. Hey, she may be using Chris. She may be. But again, it's not, I'm not debating with that. It's the issue. I just think to myself that you've got intimacy issue and you have to work through it. Yeah, she uses sex to draw people in. Absolutely. That's what she does. So she has to work through that. She has to work through that. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem in future relationships, which it is now.
And then out here, it's more out in the open. It's like PDA in my brain. Even they don't really do that.
It confuses me, like, because of how you are in the bedroom, and then
like, I'll kiss you in the bedroom.
Can I finish, please?
And her biggest issue too is that she can't keep quiet long enough to be able to let the person pass off their thoughts. And the reason why she can't keep quiet long enough is because she's always trying to avoid them actually having power, and also them also having the ability to leave her. She's always trying to be on top of it. And that's actually, again, it's an intimacy issue. It's a situation of your attachment. You're afraid of being rejected, abandoned, or betrayed. So she's trying to jump in there ahead of time. Like, oh, I already know what you're going to say. Like, and it's like you're trying to prevent the thing happening, but you don't realize by trying to prevent it, it's going to happen. She actually just needs to be able to relax and just allow him to say what he's saying and know that the world is not ending. The world isn't ending. The world is not ending. He's not saying he's going to leave you. He said he wants something to change. That's all. Okay.
Okay, well, do you want me to stop kissing in the bedroom?
Let me tell you this. If you don't feel comfortable with giving me even just like a slide, it's just like a peck out here in front of people that you're comfortable with. Let me finish my...
Now, here's the problem with what he said. Here's the problem with what happened to Chris. I told you what Chris would do. Because Chris has also got attachment issues as well, right? Let me tell you why. His reasoning here went straight to the extreme. I understand what he's saying, but he went to the extreme. And I'm not saying he's bad for it. Again, I want to help people who are in relationships. Where he went to is he immediately went to, if you don't feel comfortable, then, you know, out here kissing me, and immediately went to ultimatum. And I know this one because I do it myself. I've done it myself, and I have to check myself every single time. It's because the reason why you go to that place is because you're afraid. That is a sure sign of an intimacy issue and an attachment issue. That's why both of them are going to clash. Okay. So in this instance, what he should have been saying was, here's what I need from you, Huda. I would like, you know, if you feel comfortable, I want to have more kisses with you. I want to have more of that PDA in the public arena. This makes me feel like I'm connected to you. This also makes me feel like you actually like me, right? Rather than going to, no, if you don't want to kiss me, then da-da-da-da. So then it goes into a forced thing. Okay? So at that place, he hasn't, you've gone to extreme already. And I know that because it's so difficult because you don't have any other tools to actually do it properly. You've not learned that because you haven't seen it properly. And so actually you're responding from the hurt, which is understandable, but it's going to cause an ultimatum. We don't want ultimatum. Like, if you're not going to get together, no, what you need to be saying is what you want. Look, I want more PDA. You know, it makes me feel closer to you. It makes me feel more appreciated. It makes me feel like, you know, that we actually, we're heading in the right direction. Now, is there a reason why you don't want to kiss me in public? Then she can explain and say, hey, you know, I'm thinking about it differently because I did it previously like that. And they say, well, hey, look, let's come to a happy medium here. Is there a happy medium? Like, is there like, you know, can we start maybe slowly? You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can start by, you know, holding hands or whatever, or, you know, give me a kiss on the cheek, you know, because I actually want to make this work. But I also I know I can't force you down that lane straight away. So it's like, can we come to that happy medium here? Because I also have needs here, and I don't want to also surrender my need for feeling safe and secure. And when you're not kissing me and looking around to see who's watching, it doesn't make me feel secure. This is actually when you're more secure, you're able to explain those behaviors. You don't run to ultimatums. You run to what you want and what you need. That's a telltale sign of somebody who's an insecure attachment. Huda does it. He did it. Jeremiah did it. You run to a place where you make ultimatums and you make emotional statements. And as much as that may sound good in your head, it doesn't lead to a healthy relationship. And I know we may feel like Huda's like irrational. She has got some irrationality, and I definitely hear that. The reality of the situation is that you still need to do that for you anyway. Irrespective of what Huda does, you still have to do that. I said that with Jeremiah video. I did that with the Jeremiah and Huda situation. I said he's still got to do what he's got to do. Unfortunately, whether that person responds the way you want them to is irrelevant because you want a healthy relationship, right?
Let me finish my sentence, please.
Okay.
It just confuses me how we're still next to them in the bedroom, regardless if it's dark. They're still.
I'll kiss you in the bedroom.
Finish?
You're upset with me.
Now, notice what she says here. You're upset with me. And the reason being is because her greatest fear is that when you're upset with her, for her mind, it goes to one place only. If you're upset, it means you're about to leave. I got that abandonment issues. I got them rejection issues. I've got them betrayal issues. So the moment she says, "Oh, you're upset with me," that's when we know. That's when we know that she's also a people pleaser, and that's where the manipulation also kicks in because you're not actually being truthfully you. So it's like you're not being true to you because you're always afraid a person's going to leave. Now, when you're always afraid a person's going to betray you, reject you, or abandon you, your behavior is always going to be a character. It's not you. And until you release the fear of being rejected, abandoned, or betrayed, you're wearing a mask and a character. You're not being your truthful self. You're not saying and doing what you actually want to do. And that means a person can't love you properly because actually you're creating a character. It don't exist. You know what I mean? So it's really important, that kind of aspect. But she needs to be able to stop the story in her head. The story is running in her head already.
Well, yeah, you keep cutting me off.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a very touchy person. I'm very physical. I've been through a lot being in here. And
the problem with Huda is that she runs to the victim card too quickly. Like, look what she's saying here. She's not realizing she's running to the victim card too quickly. Instead of asking him, what can we do to start moving forward? And how can I show you that I actually care about you? And that actually, I do want to, show you PDA. She doesn't. She runs to the victim card because that's what she's learned. She learned that as a defense mechanism. It's manipulation still, but it's a defense mechanism, right? She runs to this victim card where she goes, oh, now she's going to start telling a story. I've had it so hard in here and, it's been so difficult. Rather, and the reason why, because again, more than likely what she's experienced in her childhood is that the people who were meant to care for her did not care about her actual reasons as to why, did not care about her emotional needs, and probably did not consider her thoughts or emotions. And so actually, every time she's in a relationship, she has to try and complete that idea of putting out her emotions and thoughts out there as a defense mechanism as to why she did what she did. It's always a reason as to why she can't be accountable. Now, that can be manipulative, and that can also be a case of a self-defense mechanism. But the reality of the situation is she actually needs to be accountable without bringing the story, the sub-story. And a lot of people are like this. It's what men say that women are not accountable for. It actually happens to a lot of women. So it's not just Huda. But what we're seeing here is that she goes to that thing too quickly. And she doesn't spend enough time working through what's actually happening by listening. And when she doesn't listen, she's already running to the fact that you're about to leave. So before you're about to leave, she goes to run and shut the door. Just imagine like you're in a house and you're having an argument and she's running to the door to get the key, lock the door so you can't run out the house. She doesn't want you to leave. She's afraid if you leave, you'll never come back. So she runs to the door. That's effectively what she's doing when she plays the victim card. It's like, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me, girl. Won't you stay with me tonight? Anyway, so And so in that space, that's what's happening to her, right? Okay.
I am moving slower in a way.
Just doesn't make sense to me. If we can't kiss outside out here, what's the point of having sex or anything like that?
Okay.
And see, what's happened here is that what's happened here is this conversation has gone left because it's gone too straight to an extreme rather than actually to a place of understanding. Don't leave me, girl. Won't you stay with me tonight? She hasn't so this conversation has gone left because actually there needs to be understanding on both sides, right? She needed to ask more questions, and he needed to ask more questions too. He ran to a judgment, and many people do this in relationships. Huda did it to Jeremiah early in the season. Now he's doing it to Huda, where he running to a judgment. And Huda did it earlier on in the episodes beforehand, rather than to understanding. So in this space, what he did was, if you can't kiss outside, he's made a judgment. You must not like me, or you must not want me. And so actually his response is coming from a place of, I already know what you're thinking. And that's unfortunate. You know, that's unfortunate. Because now we've lost a key moment of growth where we could have had emotional intimacy and connectivity, but we can't have it because in reality, we've chosen to go to the extreme. So obviously Hood has walked away because she don't have a crash out. Okay. All right. And so all it required was for actually Chris to ask a question and say, look, I actually don't understand why you kiss me in the bedroom, but don't kiss me inside. I want to be able to understand that. Is it because you don't like me, or is it because actually there is something else to the story? Now, if you don't like me, that's also cool. I'm willing to take that on board and I'm willing to move on. But what's actually the reason why? That gives her the opportunity to enter the conversation. She can then go and say, hey, I'm taking it a bit more slowly, as she started saying, but didn't finish off the point. I'm taking it more slowly because I did it previously with Jeremiah and it turned out to be a show. And I don't know any other way how to do it. Right? And that's where you as a man earn your brownie points, because then you can start bringing solutions to the table. You know what I'm saying to you? That's actually not true, Astro. So I want you to understand something, because I think when we think like this, we think that men are more are almost better than the ladies. I want you to understand something. That's not what happens. You have to understand how men and women actually operate, okay? Because men and women operate on different scales. For instance, when I taught this on my other channel about men and women communication, right? When you're dealing with a woman and you're dealing with a man specifically, okay? Right? For men, we don't give people support and help just by doing that. Right? As a man, what we tend to do is we wait for someone to ask us, bro, you want help? He asks you for help and you say, all right, bro, I'll help you out. That's how men tend to do it, right? With women, they tend to be quite intuitive. So if they see another lady struggling, they just go and help, right? Now, that's not every woman, of course, but that's the generality of the situation. So actually, the way that men and women actually move is very different. So what ends up happening is when we come to a relationship, women expect the man to just be intuitive. The man expects the woman to ask for help. And neither are right. Because actually, you should learn how the other person wants to be done. Women want men to be intuitive, fine. But then as a woman, you should also know that he needs you to ask him for help. Right? And that what that does is that if we start to understand where the other person's coming from, we start to learn about how they move and how they communicate. The Bible says, well, women are called into knowledge. Now, so it's not that women are just necessarily just emotional. What they're looking for as a solution, oftentimes to be heard. That's the solution. The solution is to not give a solution. The solution is to keep quiet and listen. And then when they ask you if they want a solution or not, and they say, yes, I want a solution, you give a solution. If they don't ask for a solution, you just keep quiet. That's it. That's the rules. The rules are rigged, but we're not taught this from a very young age. Okay, you want to go and read a book? The book is called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Go read that book. Very good book. You might want to update it a little bit because it's got some outdated themes, but I would say when it talks about the communication between men and women, it is absolutely on point, and I've seen it every single time. Right? So in that space, what needed to happen was that Chris just needed to let her know, first and foremost, if he didn't want her interrupting, which he did, he said, listen, you're interrupting me. And actually, it's making it harder for me to connect with you. You know what I'm saying to you? That's the only thing. He has to let her know, listen, hey, when you're interrupting me, I can't connect with you. So that she also understands. Because I start to realize that a lot of people, we assume people actually really know, and a lot of people don't. You know, a lot of people don't. So you actually need to start. So he needs to learn that. She needs to learn that. She needs to learn also that just because I said stop interrupting me, it does not mean that the relationship's over and you've got doom and gloom. Sometimes you've got to able to listen to constructive feedback and listen to when someone is hurt by what you've done. Now the problem with Huda is she goes into self-deprecation, where she starts thinking to herself, I'm the worst human being. I'm no good. I'm not worthy. I'm going to spoil it. I'm going to be, as well, and all that kind of stuff. And what ends up happening is then you automatically start self-sabotaging. If you don't feel you're worthy, your actions are going to show that, and they're going to self-sabotage your relationship. And that's something she has to work on. Something she has to work on. That's a very, very femicentric view of cultures. Happy wife, happy life. That's wrong. Happy spouse, happy house. I'm guessing you must have done someone else, not me. Because that's not what I'm saying. But it's good that you're actually putting this, because then I can educate, right? So what you're saying, in a sense, you thought I was being female orientated. I didn't say that it's only women that should get their needs met. Both men and women need to get their needs met. So you also at the same time need to be able to communicate that. That's why I said that women need to understand that men need to be asked for help and women need intuitiveness from the man. And both people need to be able to work with what the other person needs. And I gave an example about when women are speaking and they're saying what's going on with them, you trying to solve their issue is not going to solve the issue. It's going to cause a disconnect. You know what I'm saying to you? Same way that you personally, when you want a solution, you should ask your partner, hey, I need a solution, because she might just listen to you. Or say to her, listen, hey, I don't need you solving my problems, which is what men oftentimes will say, like, hey, I don't need you solving my problems. Let me solve it out myself. So you have to communicate that. That's why I'm saying that both people need to be able to communicate. All right. So it's not from a feminine perspective. It's actually to understand that both people need to actually learn how to communicate with the other party. It's not happy wife, happy life. You have a happy wife, a happy life, you're gonna end up being in trouble. Yeah. No, that's the other way around. But I hear what you're saying. Astro. Yeah. Well, I did say that. I did say shut up and wait to ask. What I meant by that is, if she doesn't ask for a solution, don't give it. The same way you don't want her coming to you to solve an issue. When you know what I'm saying to you? Like women should not be coming to solve your issues. Men hate that. We hate that. We hate our women coming up to us and trying to solve our issues when we haven't solved it ourselves. It makes us feel incompetent. So women should not be coming to solve our issues. Sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying to you? So just to make it fair, they should sit down somewhere, because actually it robs us as men of our autonomy and our need to feel competent. So it's the exact same thing. For men, shut up. Women, sit down. It's the same thing. Both parties need to stop doing things that are not going to be helpful for the other party to actually feel connected. So women, stop trying to help the man. Let him do it himself first. And then when he asks you for help, then you can help. And for the man, them, keep quiet. When she's talking to you and trying to share her feelings, this is not the time to try and solve the issue. Just listen. Problem solved. Trust me, that's for free. Next one I'm going to charge. Okay? Next one I'm going to charge. Anyway, next thing. Let's what this thingy. Let's what next one. Okay, so woo, baby. Let's get into this. Sorry, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, because baby, people were out here lipsing and kissing and dipsing and doing all this stuff. Okay, so obviously, okay, so I don't know. Nicolandra, they ain't going. I don't know. The energy's off. You know what I mean? Is it me? I feel like a Nickelandra thing. I'm not seeing their energy. Is it just me? I don't know. I'm not seeing their energy. I'm not seeing the vibe now. Like, but I'm seeing a little bit, 1, 2, but like I thought they would have been a little bit more physical. Why they get? And this is again what I said about Olindria. Why is it that they're physical in the bed, but we're not necessarily seeing we're not seeing them kiss outside anymore? Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, it's interesting again because we've got Alondria in the bed tooting up her bottom against Nick, but we're not seeing anything physical in the outside present. I'm looking for it and I'm not seeing it. Like, and I have a feeling they're probably going to end up doing something before they actually end up doing something outside. Like, they're not kissing outside challenge. I was expecting some a little bit more fireworks to happen between the two of them, you know, a little bit more kissing, a little bit more, you know, but they're having good conversation. I'm just not seeing any physical stuff. But you know, when you're tooting your ass in the bed, Nick is a horny boy. I don't know. It's a bit like, ooh, you know, it's a bit like, ooh. I'm like, sis, are we going to? Is this going to turn into? I know we're saying the great words, but is it going to turn into something? I'm not seeing what's happening as of yet. Maybe just me. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll communicate something, and it's not an argument.
Yeah.
He'll.
I think at this point, for me, it's about taking care of her to the best of my ability.
Hell yeah. And if you just keep doing the little things for her, that shit will go a long way.
I'm not telling her saying you do little things about her. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird. No, we shouldn't. I would never call Olindria a hoe or anything like that. Nah, if you haven't said those things are for immature people. When people start calling people hoes and sluts and stuff like that, that's immature behavior. We should never be calling anybody. I don't care if you have sex with 2 people or 3 people on that show. That's not my business. But what I'm saying to you is, like, it's interesting that she did tooted the behind a little bit, teased them a little bit, maybe in the bed or whatever. But we ain't really seen that outside of the thingy. We haven't seen that physical affection. Even when Taylor left, he couldn't really hug her. But I don't know if that's because he wanted to make sure she was okay with the Taylor situation. But I wasn't really seeing it. I'm not seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's the shit she did appreciate.
You know, crispy edges around the pancakes. I make sure those bitches are crispy on the edges.
Yeah, crispy edges on the pancakes, bro.
And that's all I want, is to make her happy and just doing it together.
I'm not seeing it. I don't know. Someone's off. It could be a bad edit. It could be. But after the way they want to ship Nicolandra, they would give him a bad edit? Not likely. Not the way they've been pushing for them two to be. Although I hear her talk about the relationship, I ain't seen nothing of that physical nature between the two of them. Maybe she's going slow again. You know what I mean?
I'm afraid of my connection, honestly. I know at first I felt a little guilty. But like now that feeling is like slowly like leaving. I feel like it feels natural.
Yeah.
Like the first night how we cuddled and it didn't feel weird. He didn't feel weird about it. I didn't feel weird about it. And I liked it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, is this a friend's?
Well, maybe, like I said, she's slowly warming up. Maybe she's slowly warming up. But I think she has a similar thing to what I said about Huda. There is an intimacy issue. There's an intimacy issue. There is. Alondria takes things slow on a physical aspect, but was doing all the physical stuff in the challenges. It makes no sense. There's an intimacy issue with her. You can't be slinging lips in the challenges and we outside and we can't do it no more. I don't know. Just feels a little bit weird. You know what I'm saying to you? And if we hear more information in the next few episodes about them getting even closer in the bed, but nothing's really happening outside of it, we've got to question it. you know. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll have to watch and wait. I'm not gonna
lovers
say anything yet.
I love it.
I love it for you.
Like weeks ago, if you would have asked me like what the end of my journey would have looked like, I would have never thought this at all.
Yeah. I feel good with Chris. Honestly, I feel like my favorite.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. And we have to kind of be patient, I guess, with what the journey's going to take with them too. You know, we'll give them a bit more time and see where they go with it. You know what I mean? As for me right now, you know, I didn't ship that relationship at all, but hey, maybe things can change. Maybe things can go differently, and we'll see it in a different way. I don't know. We'll see it differently, and it'll come out differently. So I have to wait and see in that respect. But I mean, listen, I don't want to talk too long. I think we've spoken enough about Huda and obviously the Nicolanja situation. With the other couples, Ace and Shelly, like I said, because of Ace, I don't want to see them touch the money either. Okay, if it's up to me, I don't want to see Ace touch that money at all. And if that means Shelly don't get the money either, well, you know what I mean? They got 24 hours. Next elimination is Thursday. Boy. Oh yeah, sorry, Amaya. Yes. You know what? I'm not even too vexed, but Amaya does move a bit quickly. Amaya's a fast faller. That's the only problem I have with Amaya. She's a fast faller. Okay, and I'm just like, Amaya, I want you to win, but baby, I'ma need you to slow it down. Slow down. I just want to get to know you. Don't turn around. The beauty is discretion. Like, I'm not mad at people doing what they're doing. If you're sleeping with somebody, that's not my business. But what I'm looking at the situation going, okay, baby girl, it's very quick, and you catch feelings very quickly. So my problem with Amaya giving up so quickly is that she catches feelings very quickly. So in that place, that's very difficult to be able to come back from. And I feel like, will you have the objectivity to see if someone's not treating you correctly? Will you have the objectivity to know that this person isn't your person? That's the key question she has to ask herself. And I don't know if she will be able to do that with her giving up the kitty cat. Same way with Huda's doing that too. It distorts their viewpoint. So, yeah, I don't know. The erasure of Sierra was really weird. Like, I don't get it. Like, the Yelissa one, we can get away with it. Yelissa was new. But to like just erase Astro, good point. Just to erase Sierra, it's like, wow, like it's like it never happened. It's like Doctor Strange. And it's like, damn. They really said they're not giving her no air to breathe. How am I supposed to breathe with no air? How am I supposed to breathe when you're not here? No air, no air. Ooh. I know it was off, but don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, so I don't know. It's just it's a bit weird. Bit weird, you know what I mean? So hey, shoot. I get it. The show was like, we ain't trying to get in no trouble. Look at this. Amaya, slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Everything too quick. By the way, listen, my time is up. We'll be back tomorrow night for a live with you guys, okay? All right, so make sure you guys, you like, when you share, you subscribe, and you click on that bell button as well. You know, it's been crazy this episode. I can't lie to you. It's been crazy this season, and you know, actually, you know what? It hasn't been bad. It's been actually pretty cool. It's just been certain things have been annoying, but you know, it's time to wrap it up. You know what I mean? Wrap it up. Okay. And I know Love is Blind is gonna come on soon as well, so we're gonna get ourselves ready for that. You know what I'm saying to you? They got a petition with 17K signatures. Well, they had 50K for Jeremiah to come back, but they didn't do it. Okay. Anyway, giddy up. Time is up for our boy and our girl, Taylor and Clarke. It's all right, man. You know what I mean? Although we've come to the end of the road, still I can't let go. It's unnatural. You belong to me. I belong